Hey, so today I'm here to talk about Bellevue Square by Michael Redhill. This book won the Giller Prize for this year, 2017, and honestly, it totally deserved it. I thought this was an amazing story. The story centers around this woman named Jean, who runs a bookstore, and then at one point a customer comes in and tells her about this doppelganger who hangs out at the park, the Bellevue Square Park. And another customer comes in and mentions the same thing, and so Jean ends up becoming fixated on this idea of a doppelganger in the park who looks just like her, and that becomes her whole focus of her life for a little while. And things unravel from there because she ends up becoming the suspect of a murder, and things aren't quite what they seem, and it's a crazy ride, and I loved it. Or one of the things I enjoyed the most about it is that our narrator is incredibly unreliable, and I love stories with unreliable narrators because you can't trust them. So you're never entirely sure what is going on or what something actually is supposed to be. You just kind of see things from their point of view, and you get to make up what's happening around them to sort of suit the story a little bit better. It gives you a little bit more control as a reader as to what's going on in the story because you can infer things that other characters are reacting to them without the main character actually telling you that's how it is, because they just don't, maybe they don't know, maybe they can't see it. It's great. And then even after the story ends, there is so much left up for interpretation. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what that ending even means, but I'm perfectly okay with it. I like that I never got a complete and easily wrapped up package with the story, and I get to kind of just continue thinking about it even after the book is gone, like what everything meant. The book itself was incredibly well written. You get a really good feel for Jean, who she is, how she's coping with these struggles, how other people around her are coping with Jean's struggles, because Jean's not quite, well, I mean, she's an unreliable narrator, so that kind of hints at some other stuff that's going to happen to her, but like it's great to see how she's dealing with everything, or not in some cases, and how everyone else around her is just kind of like trying to come to understand what exactly is happening with this poor woman. This book was a hell of a page turner. I finished it in maybe 2 or 3 days. I can't remember. It didn't take very long. I think in total, my Kobo said that I had spent 6 hours on it. So like I flew right through it because I needed to know what was happening. I was thinking about pros and cons for this, and I already went through my whole list of pros, but the only con I could actually think of was that because she's an unreliable narrator and because things jump around a little bit because of how the story is told, it can be sort of confusing to figure out exactly what is happening at the present moment, because she jumps around from like different times and different places, because it's all kind of a train of thought, and her train gets derailed a lot in this story. So sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly what's happening, because she'll be talking about one thing and then just jump to another, and then she'll just jump back to this, or maybe she'll just jump somewhere else. Like she is all over the place. If I've convinced you to read this, or if you're just kind of on the fence and maybe you're thinking about it, my best advice to you for someone who hasn't read this book yet is to go into it knowing as little as you possibly can about the main story of it, and just kind of experiencing the whole thing from there. That's why I've been being kind of vague, because I feel like this is a story where the more you know about it, the less you'll enjoy it. That's not to say you won't enjoy it if you know what's happening, but like it kind of lessens the suspense and the mystery of it if you know what's happening. So just go in as blind as possible is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, all in all, I love this book. I highly recommend you read it if you're thinking about it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think 4.5, but I'm just going to round it up to 5 just because it's probably the best book that I've read in a while. And that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!